Ah, Smart Water. Pure, crisp taste.
That's really good water.
It's the kind of water that says, I have my life together.
I do feel more sophisticated.
Smart Water. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. New players, new games, new rules. Squid Game, The Challenge returns for a gripping second season. 456 contestants from all walks of life, competing in the ultimate test of strategy, alliances, and endurance. For a life-changing prize of $4.56 million. With stakes this high, why make friends when you can make millions? Watch Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2, only on Netflix November 4th.
Hey friends, this is Audie Cornish, host of CNN This Morning and The Assignment, and guess what? Every story you care about, every angle you want unpacked is now streaming on CNN. That means you can catch my show or other CNN programming whenever you want on your favorite device. And a subscription also gets you access to exclusive video series and unlimited articles. So subscribe to CNN at cnn.com/subscription.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Christian Moore back to Jack Goodchild on the blue line. He manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. Goodchild with the shot, and the Slough Jets are taking the lead on the power play with 23 seconds remaining. And Jack Goodchild is Kane Russell with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorne. And Campbell has found himself in. And it's 3-1 to the Johnson Chieftains. They have him like quickly. And welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast, hosted by me, Ben Hyde.
And me, Katelin Piner.
Evening, Katelin. How you doing?
How are you? I'm all good.
Excellent stuff. Just also mention that we are here with Hockey Art Co. as well. We haven't given Mike a shout-out for a couple of weeks, so all your hockey-based kit, on ice, off ice, casual stuff, the City Series, loads of really cool stuff coming out of Hockey Art Co. So check out their stuff, and if you want to buy anything off there, you get a 10% discount when you use the code ZP10. Right then, the weekend that it is, obviously we put a little post out, everyone else put a little post out. We need to say a little word about the dearly departed Adam Johnson. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Honestly, how has that been 2 years? I remember, actually, I was in the car on the way home from an Invicta away day, and it was on through Twitter, and it was just Nottingham Panthers posted that like the game had been like sort of abandoned for an injury issue, and I just can't believe that's 2 years ago. Honestly, it's gone so quick, but I don't think the hockey community will ever be the same since that. It's really brought us together. It
has, and there's a lasting legacy from it. Obviously, the safety changes that were made with the neck guards and everything that's come in since. It took a little while. There was obviously a few knee-jerk reactions to it, which I know they were trying to avoid, and giving people a little bit of time because they didn't want suppliers to literally run out of neck guards. But from what I've seen this year, it tends to be everyone is adhering to the new safety regs regarding it. Yeah, which it should be, I think, if it's going to prevent someone from being like killed again, you've got to do it, haven't you? And to be fair, I mean, we got I know it was a pretty gruesome picture, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, that Nikki from 4000 shared of Harry Hatfield's injury at the weekend. It goes to show, you know what, it happens in this. It happens, and so many people don't realise that, unfortunately, one wrong move and something like that can happen. It's just, like, these are skates we're on about. They are literally, they are blades. This can happen no matter, like, where you are. It just can. Yeah, and as I say, we'll get onto that injury a little bit later, because there was a couple over the weekend. But yeah, we'll for now we'll just say it's been 2 years. Obviously for Adam's friends and family, it's been a terrible 2 years. Also for the person involved in the incident as well, Matt Petgrave. Really glad to see that he's playing again now. Yeah, scored on his debut as well for the Indy Fuel. Yeah, I'm really glad to see he sort of got back up and running on his career, because something like that can really mentally destroy you as a person, let alone in your career. So I'm glad to see he's back up and running and playing hockey again. Well, I mean, it's bad enough that a tragedy like that stopped one man's career. It should not have stopped two.
Yeah.
So glad to see Matt back. And obviously our thoughts with all of Adam's friends and family, and of course everybody who was in the arena that night, because I think there's some people, particularly the off-ice staff, who would have had to rush incredibly quickly over to the situation. There's things that they've seen that I don't think they'll ever forget, and you can't really play down how much that will affect your life moving forward, I don't think.
Of course not. It's just like such an awful tragedy. It's horrible for everyone that was involved.
But so 2 years on, we shared it out on our social medias this week. We'll just pop it into the episode again. 2 years on from the death of Adam Johnson, forever 47.
Yes.
Lovely. Right, well, before we get into the games then, it's coming up to Halloween weekend and all that. A few teams doing a theme evening, asking fans to come in fancy dress for prizes and whatnot. But there's notably no themed jerseys coming out of the Britton Division this year.
No, there isn't. And it's a shame because I think it is all fun and games. But obviously we spoke off air and said about how it's money again. And you can't keep asking fans to keep buying these themed jerseys, especially for such a... I think Halloween's quite a small holiday in the UK. So you can't keep asking fans to keep paying for themed jerseys for such a little holiday.
No, I mean, we shared out one on our socials. I think I did a Chelmsford one. Someone sent in a really cool Stratton one. There was someone did send me a Romford Buccaneers one that was Michael Myers in the Buccaneers hat, which I thought was hilarious. But it was, like I say, it is just money. It's not just that people have got to pay for these jerseys because they're just a one-off thing that are only going to be worn once. Mm-hmm. The clubs have also got to pay for them. You don't want to see the clubs out of pocket. As equally, you don't really want to see the clubs rinsing the fans for profit, but you want everyone to kind of be squared away with it. So I do agree that it's perhaps good to have the theme nights. The theme jerseys aren't perhaps necessary.
I think the theme nights is really cool though because it means that the fans can enjoy something instead of it just being a normal hockey game. Like the kids especially, they'll get to dress up. It'll just be a really fun night for them all.
Last season, Solent did a country night.
I saw that and I thought that is such a great idea. I'd love to have been there. Absolutely
loved it. Like I didn't go down, but like seeing the pictures, seeing all the guys arrive in like tartany shirts and cowboy hats, and they had a country singer do the national anthem and do a little sort of show in between.
That's really cool.
I think every other team in the league needs to step their game up where that's concerned. Solent do that stuff.
Yeah, so Solent are doing it again this year, aren't they? I think they're the main one doing it.
They've got the Halloween one, or just gone actually. I think the Halloween weekend.
This weekend.
Down at Gosport, which ended up being a little bit terrifying for them. But as we said, we hope that the terrifying thing wasn't the surface of the ice, which seems to have sorted itself out for that game at least. I haven't seen any pictures that suggest otherwise. So, but so theme nights. I think I'd love to see a country night coming up. Obviously, we'll have Christmas, and I assume we'll probably see the odd Christmas jersey. Yeah,
I think Christmas may be obviously a time where you can do sort of a different jersey. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas themed, but just a different jersey. I know Stars did a charity jersey for Christmas. Not last season, the season before, I'm pretty sure. Just to see a different jersey for once in the season would be nice.
Well, I think if it's Christmas, it's got to be Christmas themed.
Do you?
If it's Christmas time, it's got to be Christmas themed for me.
Just thinking, for the fans though, is if it's a Christmas themed jersey, are they going to wear it all year round?
To be fair, I think a couple of years ago, the Chieftains did elves, and the goalie jersey was Santa. And I do see those elf jerseys around on the regular, and last year's Christmas jumper jerseys, that they do pop up. So I understand where you're coming from.
I think Christmas jumpers though would be really cool because you can wear that throughout the whole of November, December. Whereas with jerseys, I don't know. Of course you could wear a Christmas jersey, but I feel like Christmas jumpers, there's something a bit I feel like a Christmas jumper you could wear January, February as well because it's cold.
I think I'm smelling a ZPG Christmas jumper coming.
Oh, maybe.
I think the logo fits perfectly as a bauble. I think we're.
Oh yeah.
I'm halfway there with that one already. But Christmas stuff aside, because that's miles away yet, and Santa's not even started working.
I bet you he has.
But so the Halloween weekend, it was fairly frightening for a couple of incidents, one of which you witnessed. The couple of serious injuries this week. We did, we're really wishing the boys a speedy recovery. And God, as if Harry hasn't been through enough in the past couple of years. By the way, I don't think we actually brought it up that much a couple of weeks ago when he got into a little tear up with Alan Lack.
No, we didn't.
I bet he enjoyed that. I bet he did. And to be fair, Lack, he probably thought, you know what, he probably fancies this.
Yeah.
So give it to him. But yeah, Harry suffered a really serious injury to his
really nasty,
face. He's had, I think it was 42 stitches he's had across the lower part of his face. But so you saw it go down. So
I was the other end of the rink, and he actually gave the penalty shot away that I'm pretty sure Antonov missed. I was there, I should remember this, but he gave the penalty shot away. So what I'm pretty sure is what's happened is he's tripped whoever it was, and they've obviously caught him on the face. He went straight off. I didn't realise it was an injury. I thought he was gone out of the game. But then people came on, cleared blood up, so I thought, oh, it must have been a little blood. Then I saw the photo and I was like, shit, that's bad.
Yeah, it was pretty serious. There's one of it where you can virtually see his
teeth,
his jaw, and the lower part of his teeth was all out. So, congratulations to the medical staff who obviously acted really quickly and got that sorted out for him. I think next time Harry's on the ice, he may be wearing a face cage.
Potentially.
But yeah, we wish him a speedy recovery. And the other incident took place at Solent in the Solent versus Swindon game where Mark Pitts caught the blade of a stick under the visor and on the eye and has had to have surgery on both of his eyelids. As far as we understand, his vision's not been affected, but it's just now going to be a recovery
thing. Yeah, what an awkward place to sort of get an injury, because it's such a small area, but if you catch it, it can be really dangerous, obviously.
Yeah, like I say, as far as I know, his vision hasn't been affected, but that makes him an incredibly lucky man.
Yeah, so lucky, because there's such a small, it's such a small area for you not to be blinded or have 50% of your vision taken away. So he's extremely lucky.
Yeah, so we may hear, obviously, as I've said in previous weeks, we don't listen to the coach's thoughts until they're played out live during recording. So it may be brought up a little later. But we'll get on to the games then, and we'll start with that game down in Solent because they love a little 5 p.m. face-off down at Gosport.
They do. Who doesn't?
It's great. It's so good because get out. It's 7, 8 o'clock, and the game's done. There's a pub right outside. It's brilliant.
And it's a banging pub, which I've said before. They do a lovely roast dinner.
I am now booked. I'm going down there December 13th. It's all booked in. I'm going down for Solent versus Chelmsford on December 13th.
Oh, lovely.
It's going to be brilliant. Lovely people down in Solent as well. So
yeah,
always going to be good down there. But their game against Swindon, I think we both called this, actually. I think we both said that Swindon would win.
Yeah. I can't.
And it was just the training time, really, wasn't it? Because obviously the Devils just have not been able to be on the ice.
Yeah, they've literally had one game since obviously the rink had its issues, and they haven't. I don't think they were able to train for this game. Actually, were they? I don't think Mother said they were.
They got a little slot at the Ozone. I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Check out the Ozone in Bracknell from Danny Myers. Go and check that out. I'm wearing a very lovely hat supplied by them. But yeah, I think they got one session in at the Ozone, but obviously
it's not enough.
No, and to be fair, I mean, as a 3-on-3 rink, it's probably a similar size to Gosport, so it's probably quite handy.
Quite homely.
Setting up their breakouts and stuff like that. But I mean, as on paper, the game just looks an incredible game.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a game that's 3-2, you can sort of tell it's a good game because it's close. But again, I think we'll hear obviously what Mother has to say. But the last 5 minutes, that's where they're losing the game. It's Jankos Jr. 23 seconds to go. Yeah, that must have been that would have been great for the Swindon fans who went down.
Short-handed as well.
Yeah.
A short-handed breakaway. Solent took the lead just before the end of the first with a goal from Liam Coleman. Also short-handed. They're generally at home. The short-handed goals will happen at Gosport because of the size of the ice.
Size of the ice, yeah. It's inevitable.
Yeah, I think last year when Solent played Slough, I think it was a high-scoring game. I think it was 4 short-handed goals in the game. Two teams that are really good at scoring short-handed goals. But yeah, Luca Kirk-Brown equalised in the second period, and then into the third. So Liam Coleman got his second of the game and ninth of the season to put the Devils back in front. But into that last 5 minutes, and former Oxford boy Jake Williams, notching the equaliser on the power play, and then, as you said, Jan Kostel Senior assisting Jan Kostel Junior.
What a moment for them both.
Love that. I think it's great.
Mm.
I mean, there's many places that can happen actually at Swindon, because you've got Ethan and Shannon on the same.
Shannon as well, yeah.
Yeah, a short-handed goal on 59-37. I mean, it looks like it was a little bit of a feisty encounter. There was quite a few
misconduct penalties.
Yeah, which I would imagine that Muzzer may touch on that. He took the final one, 58-12, giving them, this chance to be sort of short-handed. But it was, it's incredible game. I say we both did it, but I think we only called it really because of the lack of training time that the Devils.
Lack of training, yeah. I just think as well, it just, not even the lack of training, but when you've got such a disruption like that, it does just send everyone's heads a bit into like a thing of like, for God's sake, like. But no, it's a good game. Like, I'm glad they've got the rink back up, and obviously this is now where they can learn as well from what mistakes they've made, because I don't think they've been able to do that in a training session.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a little listen to what Muzzer had to say after the home loss to Swindon Wildcats too.
Morning, Ben and the team at ZPG. Just touching base following the weekend where we were pleased to have our rink back and ice back for our home fixture, sort of Halloween themed, as we've got next weekend off at home. A Halloween themed game against Swindon. And really after last weekend's performance, we decided that we would try and get some ice at Ozone, as we knew that the rink wouldn't be ready till Saturday. And we trained late at night at Ozone this week. And I was trying to thank them for their, real flexibility there to get both our senior teams out on the ice. Really appreciate the efforts from Charlie there as well to kind of help us get back on the ice. And I think the focus for us this week in practice was being clinical in front of goal. We're dominating games and not getting the leads that we need. And when teams push back, we're not far enough away from them to weather that storm. And Saturday was no different. We started off well. We played a real strong first period, as you would expect. A young, small team in terms of size and stature coming in. The plan was to, get on them early. I thought we played really well. But Ben in their goal played even better and was strong, and they had their moments. I think we're not really getting much with officials at the moment, and that turned to frustration on Saturday, and that's disappointment, myself included. Felt things against us were pretty soft, but Swindon held in there, credit to them, and we probably needed to go after we got the first, we needed to push on, and we didn't. And they got a hard working goal in front of our net. And again, we went 2-1 up in the third. We lost Pitsy to a real frustrating incident where, you've got these young kids in cages not having control of their sticks, and young Forshee using his stick, almost two hands on his stick. I think it was Forshee, I might be wrong, so maybe I shouldn't have mentioned the name, but Pitsy coming in on a forecheck and the kid, pointing his stick up in the air towards Pitsy's face, and we've got a serious injury in our hands where really you should be absorbing that hit with your body, not lifting your hands up and keeping your stick in your hands so that you're pointing your blade spears Pitsy in the eye. He was transferred to Southampton General early Sunday morning, where he'd had 18 stitches around his eye, 3 near his tear duct to repair that. And those are really scary moments. You had the incident with the Slough player, I think it was Harry Hatfield, and that is graphically, grotesque. The sky it's really hard to look at. And me being sat in A&E with Mark looking at his eye and seeing the doctors, holding that apart and seeing all the severs, the cuts around his eye and eyelid, you fear the worst. And it wasn't too long ago where, hockey stood still in complete devastation with Adam Johnson's loss. And maybe it's something that the league needs to look at, ice hockey in general in this country, about player safety and maybe what we wear. I remember when I first started as a 18-year-old, you're almost pressured into taking your cage off. And there's less people doing it now. And I don't want to digress too much, but similar to the smoking age increase, I wonder if the NIHL look at, from now on, every time a new 18-year-old comes into the league, you have to keep your cage on till we get to a point where we don't have these rises because, scary weekend and the guys seeing that didn't help. And that's no excuse. We were in control at that point and they score a nice power play goal off a one face-off. With 2 minutes to go, we get a power play of our own. You think, right, we're in control here. And we can see the short-handed goal, which is uncommon for us with seconds left. So a real bitter blow for us. Credit to Swindon and Ken. They stuck with us and, congrats on their win. But for us in our season, it leaves me a little bit baffled at the moment where we are. We've got to have some big reflection. It heavily impacts us for the Cup because we've now lost to Cardiff and Swindon in back-to-back weeks. And I think it will need wins at home to Cardiff and Chalmers with other results going our way to qualify for that, which after 2 games we were probably heavy favourites to qualify. So, disappointing weekend for us and back to the drawing board for sure. But in the meantime, we're all obviously hoping that Mark makes a full recovery. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, spot on with what he said about Pitsy. And genuinely interesting comment actually about the equipment.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think at the moment you're seeing too many injuries that neck up. Obviously, it's just where people wearing visors, which is obviously their choice. But maybe it is too dangerous. Maybe it's a great idea. Maybe that 18-year-olds are wearing cages to the point where everyone will be wearing cages.
I mean, it's a dangerous sport. We all know it's a dangerous sport. And when you've got the option there to make it safer, perhaps you should be taking that choice out of the hands of the players.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? The guys at this level, they're incredibly skilled, they're incredibly committed, they're incredibly hard-working, but they've got jobs as well. And
like I've said, they've got lives. This isn't their profession. They've got families, they've got lives, they've got different jobs. They play this sport because they love the sport.
Yeah, I think, and I'm seeing the kind of the theme of when these players do get these injuries, that when they return, they are wearing a face cage.
Yeah. I mean, one that comes to my head is when Josh Abbott, he got a really nasty face injury, straight away went to a fishbowl.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's the inevitable, really. When you get a face injury, you do sort of just think, I'm not going to wear a visor, just the precaution of it. So maybe Muzz is right. Maybe we do need to, maybe the EIHA need to make a rule of face cages permanently. Yeah,
and I think looking back to other players that have had those injuries, made those choices. It's mad to think in the NHL, there's still players playing in the NHL that don't have to wear a visor.
I know, that's crazy.
When they came in to the league, and yeah, like I say, out there, that's the big show. We all know that that's the big show. But over here, I think, especially at our level, I agree. I think that choice should be taken out of the hands of the players.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Safety has to be paramount. It has to be.
Yeah.
So moving on, Saturday then, we'll go to your office for the evening as you were at the hangar table.
Yes, I was. What a game. Honestly, I have been wanting to watch a game like that for so long. I was definitely treated. But just to go through each period, the scoreline shows exactly what happened, really. Slough dominated in the first period, Streatham dominated in the second. The third was just a period of who is going to win because it was so even. yeah, it was just a great game. Like, I don't know how to. It was just, honestly, that is what hockey is for. Games like that, close in score, and also still like fights. There was so many fights, and it was great.
You think Ben Healy-Newman fancied an early night?
Potentially. I mean, 3 minutes in, I was a bit like, what sort of happened? But I think what's happened is JJ Pitchley's boarded one of the young ones, from what I can remember, and Ben just kept going for him. I thought, he's going to get him here, and that was it. He was gone.
And then you saw the video of him kicking the stick across the floor, and then it all kind of kicked off.
Yeah. It's just, I was more worried about filming and watching what's going on. I was like, I've got to get this on record because something's going to go down.
I had messages saying that JJ could wind up the Pope. He's that kind of player.
Yeah, I think kicking the stick just sent him over the edge. I think that was it. But yeah, rightfully so. I mean, what Ben did was rightfully so, given the game ban.
Well, I took the lead then through Lewis English, sort of 13 minutes in, and then a power play goal on 17-17, where we spoke about this Slough power play setup a couple of weeks ago when they played the Romford Buccaneers, and the issue with Alex Cole cross-checking Brandon Miles and the headbutt and all that. Well, Miles was back, and he was back in that role in front of the goalkeeper, trying to cause havoc on the power play.
Yes.
And then he was right there to sweep up at the back door. Yeah,
and it was a great goal. It was just like the work before it was just insane. But yeah, it was sweet to see Brando get a goal against his former club. He proper did celebrate against them. What he actually did, give him a good old shove, but nothing happened.
But Stretton pulled one back sort of straight away in the second period with Vanya Antonov.
Yeah, literally a minute and a half in.
Is that? I don't know whether this is just in the Challenge Cup. I think it might be because it's one goal for virtually everyone apart from Juha.
Yeah, it does say Challenge Cup, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's only Vanya's second goal of the season in total. So I think a lot of people would have been expecting him to score quite a few.
Yeah. And obviously then he missed the penalty shot as well.
He did, yeah. So Ethan Lane equalised 28-55, and then it was 45-05 when Harry Hatfield made that diving trip that got him the facial injury. But Vanya got up and missed the penalty shot. I mean, and you could probably say there, to be fair, had I been watching that game there, stood next year, I would have said, that's it. That's the game-changing point.
Yeah.
Now Slough will take it.
I think as soon as you miss a penalty shot with like 15 minutes to go and it's even, I think if you miss it, you're sort of bound to then Slough will be like, right, this is our chance, let's do this. But obviously they didn't. It was taken to overtime, which again is just, it's great. I love an overtime winner. I do. Even though I do prefer penalty shots, you can't beat an overtime winner. Like, all the fans were just so happy, and yeah, it was really nice.
You have the best world of it there as a neutral as well.
Yeah, I did. I've got to say, I didn't celebrate because I was actually in the Slough, but I was like clapping for when Stratton did score, because it's just, I love being a neutral at the moment. I think it's so fun going to all these different rinks, watching all these different games. I was actually speaking to Zara from Stratton, who does the Stratton media. I was just saying how fun it is because you get to see all these different like ways to play hockey, because so many teams play so differently. Yeah,
absolutely. And like I said, the excitement when you're a neutral and it goes to overtime is unmatched, because you haven't got that gut crippling fear that you would have.
I'm not worried, because I don't care who wins or who loses. It doesn't bother me.
But it was a power play goal as well in the overtime period after Antonov took a late tripping penalty, and the Moore brothers set up Juha Lindgren there. The Christian and Seb Moore are missing the third leg of the Holy Trinity still in Jack Goodchild, who is still injured. But yeah, Juha Lindgren putting away his third goal of the Challenge Cup to give them that 3-2 victory. Pretty incredible night for Matt Smittle, to be fair.
Yeah.
Two goals on 39 shots and a penalty shot save. So yeah, certainly a good evening.
Yeah, great goalie.
We'll move on to the Sunday then, and Chelmsford made one of the shorter trips on their away roster, which was to Invicta. Now, there was a bit of a one-sided game between these two last week, I would suppose, where we were told, the atmosphere was a little bit flat, neither team really got going, but Chelmsford ran out 6-1 winners, and this game kind of took on a completely different
Completely different, yeah. I think this is what Invicta needed to do. I know they lost, but this is exactly what they wanted, to sort of come back at them and say, like, we can be challenging. Obviously they took the lead through Mantoon, and then Chalmo got the equaliser through Grant Bartlett, and then went ahead through Cam.
Both on the power play as well, that's really good to see from Chelmsford that they're scoring power plays, because I think that's been a thing for Cliff since he's been there, is don't waste these special teams opportunities. No,
when you've got 2 minutes, you absolutely have to try and get that goal. And I think a lot of teams aren't taking advantage of it anymore. I don't feel like as if you see many power play goals as you used to.
No, I think there's certain teams that are set up really well for it. Like Solent have always been really good on the power play, particularly at home, obviously on the smaller rink. Slough are quite the opposite. They're deadly short-handed, but they're also really good on the power play. But I think having a real solid special team setup is just vital, because you've got to take any advantage that you can get.
You have to. You absolutely have to. Whether you're a club that wins every game or a club that loses every game, you have to be set up to score power play goals every game.
And I think what Chelmsford have done quite well actually with their power play goals, which a lot of the time on a power play, I think people will look at Chelmsford and go, well, either Grant or Cam's going to be on the point, and they're just going to shift it around and then tuck it back to the blue line for a slap shot. They mix it up. So
they don't do it. Them two can score any goal they want. I'm pretty sure they can do absolutely anything, and they will try it.
Yeah, so that, like you say, and power plays are again another part of the game that's so exciting, gets everyone kind of involved in it. And as I say, we'll talk about this maybe a little bit after that we've done the games. But Invicta, it's not been a great year for them so far. Are they getting as many fans in as they were? We might talk about it a little bit after, because like the Mustangs, the league below, are flying.
Yeah, they are.
With the stuff that they're doing. But good to see Tom Saw got on the board for Chelmsford against his old club to make it.
Yeah. That's it's like a thing of Brando doing it, Tom Saw doing it. It's inevitable.
They've all been around. They've all been around everywhere.
Yeah, they know exactly how they work. But no, obviously Invicta did well to score 2 to then get the equaliser, and obviously take it to overtime. I think when you're playing Chelmsford in overtime, it's really tough to beat them.
Yeah, I think people may have seen the goal because it was shared through Chelmsford's social medias, I think, on their story. Incredible composure from Grant Bartlett. Literally, he skated straight through the middle, straight across the slot, round the goalie, and just tucked it past Windies. He was on.
Yeah. Just them two are insane.
Yeah, insane. Terrific win. Like I say, that being the league last week was the league as well, so Chelmsford needed to get going in the league really, because they had a bit of a start. Challenge Cup's looking quite promising for them, but so after I would say probably a disappointing weekend for Invicta to play that well and come away with nothing. But we'll have a listen to what Karl Lennon made of the weekend.
Only the one game for us this weekend against Chelmsford at home on Sunday, and we knew that we had to put in a performance that was far better than what we had done the previous week away from home in their rink. And we had a really good start. We'd worked on a few systematics throughout the course of the week as a group, and they seemingly were paying off, which was great. And we took a lead, and I think a deserved lead in that first period. A nice play by Ollie that found Mads, and he finished well on his backhand in the top corner and put us on our way. We found ourselves in a spot of penalty trouble at the end of at the beginning of the second period, and they scored on both resulting power plays, which is unlike us. We've been very good on the kill this year so far, and 2 shots through traffic and unseen, and then we find ourselves behind, and it would be very easy for heads to drop there, and they could scored again later in that period, and at 3-1 you probably would think it would be a mountain for us to come back into, but the boys were resolute. We got our own power play toward the end of the period and scored a nice backhand from Rani after some net traffic, and really give us that confidence before the third that we could get ourselves back into the game. And I thought our intensity in the third period was outstanding. We were very dominant in spells, and of course they still had their chances, but I felt very confident as the period progressed that we would get that equaliser. And Luca Pascal managed to find the net. It's his first goal for the Dynamos, and that was a good moment for us in that period. And And then I guess heading into the overtime, it's a bit of a lottery in the sense that, you never know how it's going to unfold. And, we had an attack ourselves and probably overcommitted a little bit on that and didn't get the goal. And puck comes out to, of all players, a Bartlett, and off they go and they get the game winner. And, yeah, obviously we're unhappy that we didn't manage to get the 2 points that we would have got in that overtime or maybe even the shootout. But, a point is one we'll take, especially based on the performance the week previous to that. There was much improvement from our side, which I was happy about. And, I couldn't fault or question the effort of the lads on Sunday. They were phenomenal throughout. We'd learnt the news that our captain, Aaron Connolly, wouldn't be available on Sunday. He'd just become a dad for the second time. So, important that he was with his family and congratulations to him and his wife there that happened. And, for us, we knew what we were playing for at the weekend. And, we've got a difficult weekend ahead of us coming. We've got Slough in the Challenge Cup on Saturday away from home. And then Sunday we're back at our rink in the league against Swindon, who obviously are playing very well at the moment. And you could see last year that they were taking great strides through the season. And clearly they've started in that same vein of form this year. So a big week ahead for us in terms of getting ourselves ready for those two sides. And we look forward to going again come Saturday night. Cheers.
Terrific from Karl, actually. And I always love welcoming Forsh back to Invicta. Even though, like I say, that could be a really, really tricky game for them next week. Yeah,
that's going to be a great game, I think. Obviously, we'll get on to Swindon's second game of the weekend in a moment, but they are on a roll.
They are. And to echo what Karl said, massive congratulations to Aaron Connolly and family for...
Yeah, obviously, not having a name like that, playing against someone like Chelmsford, it's really tough. But like we said, these players have families, and you have to be with your families for an event like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Aaron and his wife. But that's on the other flip side of that, of course, Chelmsford were the team that took 2 points out of the evening. So let's catch up with Cliff.
Yeah, just one game for us last weekend. We travelled down to Kent to play the Dynamos. Very close game. Literally couldn't have been any closer, let's be honest. Probably quite an entertaining game to watch, either from a neutral point of view or probably as a fan of either team. We went one down in the first, ended up then going 3-1 ahead. And the Dynamos, to be fair, best they've been when we've played them for quite some time. They kept going, pegged us back, ended up 3-3 and going into OT. And then we got the winner a couple of minutes into OT. I feel we probably should have finished the game off at 3-1 up and not been going to overtime. Obviously with the 3-point, 2-point, 1-point system, that means we dropped a point, and that's where it's disappointing. It's lovely to win games in overtime. I think there's a better feeling because it's like it's done. The red light comes on, it is over. Like there's no coming back from that. But obviously with the way the points are distributed now, you want to try and win those games in regulation. So, the Dynamos gave us a really good game and really got on us. I always say it's a tough place to go, and they know their rink better than anybody. And, if you don't play the conditions properly, the game can get away from you quickly in a building like that. So, to come away with 2 points, is probably not exactly what we were after, but not to be sniffed at either, really. So, we'll bank those points. We'll look at the reasons why we ended up in overtime in the first place, and we'll move on. Got Slough this Sunday at home in the Challenge Cup. Obviously, played them in the cup at their place a couple of weeks ago and won 4-2. So we'll be looking to, get a repeat of that result. Hopefully, we know what Slough are like. We know what they'll bring, and we know we're going to have to be at our best to get a result. So, thanks to everyone that travelled down to support us at the weekend, and we'll see you all at the rink this weekend, hopefully. Thanks.
I was trying to listen there whether Cliff was listening to a bit of Enya in the background.
I was wondering what you were doing. You're holding your headphones. I was like, there's just put music in them.
No, I was trying to talk. Cliff was listening to whether he was having. Sounded like he was having a bit of a zen moment, just coming down weekend. But he's spot on with what he says there. You take 2 points, but you could get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
We could have done with one more.
Could have done. Yeah, exactly. And when you're a team like Chelmsford and having a start to the league, because this is a league game as well, you need to be getting as many points as possible because they haven't had a great start.
No, but as I say, coming up this weekend in the Challenge Cup, obviously they've already beaten Slough. Slough have got a full Challenge Cup weekend as well, which I actually don't know how the Challenge Cup is going to work. I don't know whether the top two in the group are going to have a final, or the trophy is just going to go to the person that's the top of the group when all the games have been played. But either way, it's actually looking like it could be pretty close between Slough and Chelmsford. So
yeah.
That game Sunday, which I will be at, finally going to a game, getting off my arse and going to a game. Yeah, really, really, really looking forward to that. So we move on to the final game of the weekend then, and who are, quite frankly, the team of the season so far.
So, yeah.
Swindon Wildcats. And another just stunning victory. I mean, I don't think we would have really expected much from the Buccaneers. They've been really short-benched in recent weeks as well. Their top players have been getting some serious minutes with the Raiders on their two-ways. Which is great for them, but the Buccaneers, not so much. Yeah, it's kind of biting them in the arse, to be honest. Yeah. Which I'm sure that Ethan James is more than happy to deal with. It's, as you said, it's great for his lads to go and get that national. Of course. League. But the first period actually finished 0-0. So clearly, obviously, what Romford's aim was to do is to keep it like that. Because, like we've both said, we think that Romford's aim for the season is to not concede and not score as many, if that makes sense to you guys. So they did that well, but going into the second period and finishing the second period for 5-0. Yeah, they ran away. Really fumbled. Absolutely ran away. And spreading the goals around as well. I mean, 6-1 in the end, 6 different scorers. Really... 5 different scorers. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Jan Costello again with 2 goals. Junior. I thought that said senior. So, yeah. But still spreading the goals around. Yeah. And Netherstell still popping up with the assists. Yeah. That kind of... Forshee's just got it to a T there at the moment. Yeah, so I think they're looking in really, really good shape. And like I said, that game with Invicta, if they go down there and take 3 points, that's a real big shout out. That's going to be such a good game. Yeah. But yeah, a fantastic result for them. Again, penalties, quite low, so keeping the discipline under the hat, which I think Ethan James will be really glad to see that, because only 3 penalties in the game for the Buccaneers. Yeah, for them. Because when you are getting beat regularly, you've got to keep your head. Got to. Yeah, you have to, because it will take just something so little and you could end up getting like 4 games banned for whatever you do. Yeah, which, as we said, when you've got your good players missing because they're playing with the Raiders, you don't need the players that are there then getting 4-game bans. So, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But I say after a 6-1 win on the Sunday, a 3-2 win down at Solent on the Saturday, we got a lovely update from Ken Forshee.
Yeah, real good weekend for us. 2 wins. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves now, starting the season out 5 wins and 2 losses. First game on Saturday against Solent, didn't really know what to expect. Both teams really could say that we were a little bit rusty. I know Solent haven't really been training because of their ice situation. And for us, we hadn't played a game, and I guess what works out to be a month's time. We had 2 full weekends off, so good to get back at it. I think, the game might have started off a little bit slow, but the competitiveness of the game certainly picked up as it went on. Kind of come from behind win. We were down 2-1 with about 10 minutes left, I guess, in the third period there, and then we got one back to tie it, and then we got the winner with, I think it was about 15 seconds left on the clock. So real good moment for the team, but also for the Costals. Yan Sr. makes a real good play on a penalty kill to get the puck up to Yanni Jr., and Yanni Jr. finishes it looking like, 25, 26-year-old, never mind him being 16, turning 17. So real big win for us. I believe it qualifies us for the Cup semi-final. So an accomplishment for the program, being a year and a bit into this, I think we've come a long way, and really proud of the group for just sticking with it. We knew going into the game the 3 points in the league were key for us, but also there was also the prize of making the Cup semifinal if we won that game. So we stuck together. It was a real character win for us. We had some ups and downs in the game, but we stuck with it. We stuck with the process. Everybody kind of stuck up for each other. There was kind of, some incidents throughout the game, but I was happy with the way we stuck up for each other, stuck with it, and managed to get the win. And then on Sunday against Romford, I don't think we didn't really have our A game with us. I thought we were a little bit slow during the game. It's not very often that we say that. Usually we're pretty good at home and getting our feet moving there, but credit to Romford. I thought they were pretty solid defensively, actually, in their own end. We were kind of struggling getting to the middle of the ice. So it's slow first period, but we picked things up in the second period. And we had some really good, runs of play, kind of like 3, 4, 5 minute segments where I thought we just dominated. We talked about it after the game, and we kind of said, we weren't very good tonight, but we still won 6-1. So it kind of goes to show how far we've come. If we're kind of not entirely happy with a 6-1 win. So all in all, a good weekend. Like I say, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We've put ourselves in a good spot after the first 7 games of the year. Next weekend we have Invicta, and we're looking forward to that challenge. See how we stack up against them. So, again, all in all, good. Start over, get back to work this week, prepare for Invicta, and see what happens next week.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah. He's just got it so to a T there at the moment, and, they're top of the league now. He must be absolutely delighted with that.
And as he says, as far as the Britton Cup goes, in their group that consists of them, Solent, Chelmsford and Cardiff, they've played 5, won 4, lost 1, 12 points, so they are in that semi-final.
Yeah.
One more point will guarantee them top of that group as well, which is astonishing.
Yeah, they are, honestly, like you said, the best team in the league so far.
Now they are guaranteed 2 games away from a cup final, which is brilliant. Absolutely.
That's great for them. And I think people are forgetting this is a team that's completely new from last season. They weren't a team the season before that.
No, we talk about Ben Nethersell and Jan Kostel Senior, Shannon Taylor, but this is majoritarily made up of kids under 20s.
It is, and it's all juniors, and it's all come through Swindon juniors as well. So like we've said previously on other pods, it's just an insane pathway at Swindon. And they are doing so well.
They are. Let's have a little look at that league table then. So Swindon do sit top, played 7-1-5, lost 2, 15 points. Solent Devils are still there in second. They've played 7-1-3, 2 overtime losses and 2 defeats, 11 points. Streatham Red Hawks in third, played 5-1-3, 1 overtime win, 1 loss, 11 points. Chelmsford Chieftains in fourth. They've played 6-1-3, 1 overtime win, 2 defeats, 11 points. In fifth, the Slough Jets played 4-1-3, 1 overtime loss, 10 points. In sixth, Invicta Dynamos played 7-1-2, 1 overtime win, 1 overtime loss, and 3 defeats, 9 points. And then Cardiff Fire in seventh. They've played 5, 1 overtime win and 4 defeats, 2 points. And at the bottom, the Rumford Buccaneers played 5, lost 5. But to be fair, it's 5 games in. I think looking at last season, I think it took MK and Oxford quite a while to start.
It did. It did. It's just obviously when you lose teams like MK and Oxford, who were known to be the worst teams in the league, Romford have to be stepping up. And obviously last season, Romford weren't a bad side, but their issue is losing players and not replacing them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so from them league games into the Britton Cup groups, as we just said, Swindon Wildcats are top of Group A with 12 points. They are now qualified for the semi-finals. The remaining place is going to be down to Solent and Chelmsford, so it's going to come down to the games that they play against each other, which Solent have already took a 3-1 win from Chelmsford at the Riverside. So It will be 15th of November, I believe, is the next time that they meet, and that will be at Chelmsford again as well for the in the Cup. And they face Swindon in the Cup on the 9th of November. So some really interesting games coming up there in the Cup and in the league. The Group B table, Streatham Redhawks sit top with 8 points, closely followed by the Slough Jets on 7. Everyone's played 3 games, and Invicta are 4 points away. So I would imagine that's pretty much set in stone now. So from the way that we look at it there, Swindon can look for a 2-leg semi-final with the Jets.
Yeah.
The way they're lining up. The Challenge Cup table that we alluded to earlier, Chelmsford sitting top with 2 wins from 2. Slough Jets are in second with 1 win and 1 overtime win from 3, so 1 point behind on 5 points. Streatham in third, played 2-1-1, 1 overtime loss on 4 points, and Invicta have lost every game in the Challenge Cup so far. No indication on there. I'll try and find out for next week what actually happens.
What actually happened, yeah. There's too many cups going on this season.
I think not last year, the year before, there was the cup that they play as part of the league was called the South One Cup.
Mm.
And then the Britton Cup was similar to this. It was just a league table between 5 of the teams.
Yeah.
And Streatham finished top of that league table, so they won the cup, and there was no final or anything. So we'll just have to wait and see. So we'll try and find out what's going on with that. And then a little look. Obviously, the coaches have pretty much told us what the fixtures are going to be next week. We've got 5 games next week. Starting off 5:15 at the Sapphire, Romford against Streatham in the league/cup.
Are we doing predictions?
Yeah, why not? Cause
we'll keep this up, yeah.
I said to you, didn't I, Saturday? Like, if I could bet on this league, I nailed Saturday because I said Swindon to win and Slough to win in overtime.
You did. You messaged me, didn't you? I got this right here. But yeah, I think that game, obviously, Streatham will take that.
Yeah, and I don't want to see a blowout, but you can kind of see
I can see it coming, yeah. I think as well with Streatham, they'll be frustrated with obviously losing in overtime to Slough. They're gonna want to take 3 points, and they will. But
apologies to the Streatham fans that there was no coach's thoughts this week. I completely forgot to text Paints until today. So and he's a busy guy, so I appreciate it. That's why we didn't have any coach's thoughts from Streatham. And then Slough start their Challenge Cup weekend at home to the Dynamos on 6:30. That could be a really interesting game, because Slough have not been firing on all cylinders yet this season.
No, they haven't been. And the only thing I think I will say is, are Invicta going to give it their all with a league game the day after? And they haven't really. They've got no chance really in the Challenge Cup.
That's a good point. It is a good point.
So I think Slough will have that, but it could be interesting. It could go to overtime potentially, but I don't know. I think Slough will take it in regulation.
I agree. I think that the way that's set up, obviously with Invicta probably out of the Challenge Cup already, and then having to face Swindon at home.
Swindon, yeah.
In the league, I think that's possibly where all of the effort could go in. In that vein, I would imagine that we'll probably see a good run out for Nikolai Dibal on Saturday.
Yeah.
Terrific young goalie. I think he played against Slough earlier this year and played incredibly well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right because I remember talking about it.
Yeah, so he won. He was on the Player of the Week roster at least once last year. It was a terrific start when he got down there. Also on Sunday in the Challenge Cup at the Riverside, a 6 p.m. face-off, Chieftains versus Slough Jets. I will be there. I cannot wait.
That's going to be a good game. I'm not going to predict anything on that one. I think when you see Chelmsford and Slough, it's just unpredictable, I think. I weren't expecting Chelmsford to beat them at the Hangar, but they did. So I'm going to...
I refused, didn't I, to predict that one, but... Yeah, like I say, it depends, I think, who's available for everybody. 2 full rosters available, very entertaining game. Obviously, I would like to see Chelmsford push on and do something with the Challenge Cup, which is good. And then 6 o'clock at the High Road, another cracking game. Streatham.
Yeah, Streatham v Solent.
Every season, Solent beat every single team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Where they finish or what they do,
they will do it at least once.
They will beat everyone at least once.
It could be this Sunday.
This Sunday, we'll have to wait.
They are sort of due. They are due a win.
They are, and I would like to say we hopefully get training in this week as well.
Yeah.
The ice is prepared, so yeah, who knows? Who knows what we'll see there? I'm going to say Streatham in overtime.
Yeah, I'm going to say Streatham 4, Solent 2 in regulation.
Very, very nice. The final thing to touch on before we go, post came out on the socials this week. We are looking at planning a ZPG golf day for Saturday. Katelin has no interest in golf whatsoever, but I can't
play golf.
She's offered to come and sort of film it for socials and do some.
Yeah, of course, I will be there. It would be a crime for me not to be there.
Yeah, well, I would say we're getting a few numbers in so far. Cardiff have put a few players forward. Swindon have put a few players forward. Most of these are coming in with single handicaps as well, so that's certainly.
Nice day. I've got no idea what that means.
I think we've got a non-playing 4-ball already set up, which will be me, Ben Pitchley, Simon Douglas, the photographer, and Nicky Watt from 4,000 and Counting. Me and Simon are like in the 20s.
Is that bad?
It's not bad. It means that someone who's not brilliant can play against someone that's good, and it's still competitive.
Okay. So,
I think Nicky's quite low on his handicap. I'd imagine that Ben Pitchley's quite low as well. So, Slough have got a couple of players from Slough that are interested in playing as well. So, we are looking out for a course. We've got a couple of people asking around. We are looking ideally for a Saturday in June. If we can't get a Saturday and it has to be a Friday, then we'll try and get as much notice as possible so that people can book time off work and whatnot. But we are going to be looking for. I want some players from every single team in the Britton Division to come and get involved because I just think it will be a really, really good piece of exposure, not only for the podcast but for the sport, for the league, and I just think it would be a really good day out. We'd like some sponsors to get involved because we don't really want people to pay as much as it does cost. I'm in a golf society, so I know how much it costs to go out and play around. We kind of want to get that covered. We're looking at doing specialised ZPG golf T-shirts, which will be own and loan. So there'll be an opportunity for you to own one of your favourite players' golf T-shirts, which may or may not work, but it's something that we're looking at. And, all very exciting. So if you'd like to be involved either as a player or help organise or help Katelin do some social stuff on the day, then please get in touch and we'll see how we can go. If you own a golf course by any chance, absolutely get in touch if you own.
As long as I drive a golf buggy by the end of the day, I don't care.
I would say that's probably doable. Definitely doable.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, run through a fantastic weekend of results there. Obviously, we had to touch on some stuff, obviously, with the anniversary of Adam Johnson and then the horrible injuries to Harry and Mark. We wish them both very well. And, of course, again, congratulations to Aaron Connolly and his missus.
Yeah.
Baby, it's been a fantastic week.
It's been a busy weekend and finally not something with horrendous fights or horrendous, injuries, but very, bad injuries that people have done with intent and force. It's just been a busy weekend.
It has indeed. Well, Katelin, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, thank you, Ben.
See you next week.
See you next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.